United States Navy for services set forth in the following citation: for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in the action against the enemy while serving as corpsman, Weapons Company, 1st Battalion, 8th Marines, Regimental Combat Team 2, 1st Marine Division Forward, 1st Marine Expeditionary Force Forward, Afghanistan, from October 2010 to December 2010, in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. On 12 October 2010, Petty Officer 3rd Class Angell was on patrol in the Musakela district when an improvised explosive device was detonated. Undeterred by the threat of a secondary device, with complete disregard for his own personal safety, he dashed across 500 meters of terrain laced with explosive device to reach a grievously wounded Marine. He then provided immediate life-saving aid. On 8 November 2010, an Afghan soldier struck an explosive device, suffering a double amputation. En route to the casualty, the minesweeping Marine struck a second device. After assessing the Marine casualty, he continued on by himself, again with complete disregard for his own personal safety and without hesitation. He crossed a known minefield to rescue the Afghan soldier and applied tourniquets and first aid that saved his life. Moments later, a third explosive device detonated, and he treated a wounded explosive ordnance disposal Marine. A local national also suffered a gunshot wound to the head, and he expertly applied aid that saved the Afghan's life. On 20 December 2010, elements of his platoon were ambushed near the village of Chigali. He personally shot 2 enemy fighters at close range and assisted in repelling the enemy's assault. By his bold leadership, wise judgment, and complete dedication to duty, Petty Officer 3rd Class Angell reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service.
I tell people that one of the most powerful drivers in a combat operation on the battlefield, what really drives Marines, soldiers, sailors, is the fact that they know that somebody's got their back. It's quite strong in the Marine Corps. We never leave our own behind. We lean on our docs, our corpsmen, every day, whether it's in combat or whether it's on liberty. Some of you have read the book Faith of Our Fathers, and you know the story about Doc Bradley. It seemed like the most mature, responsible guy in the squad out on liberty was always the doc. And the doc was taking care of business. But what's interesting about this case in particular is that not only do we show incredible courage, but we also show incredible intelligence and understanding of a very complicated environment in Afghanistan. Our guys are responsible not only for taking care of themselves, but they're also tasked with taking care of the Afghans and bringing them up to a level where they can take care of their own security needs themselves. I mean, that's ultimately our objective, is to be able to turn it over to them. And we're getting very, very close. But what the doc did is demonstrated not only that faith that our Marines have in our corpsmen, that they got their back, that we'll get them off the battlefield, that we'll stabilize their injuries, we'll get them to a facility out there in the combat area, and then eventually get them to a hospital where they can fix them. That's powerful. It's very important. It's what drives us. Afghanistan doesn't have that capability. And so our docs have been doing the same thing for the Afghans. And what that's done is built a tremendous bond between the Afghans and the Marines that are out there doing the job every day. And although there's threats to our guys is from operating so closely with the Afghans, what we're doing, and we have to do it, is we have to build the faith. And the incredible bravery that was shown by Doc Angell out there on the battlefield, not only for his Marines, but also for his Afghan partners, has expedited, has sped up the whole progress of bringing the Afghans into a position where they can be responsible and take care of business themselves. So this award for bravery is even elevated further because it just goes to show how smart, how aware our people are on the battlefield of Afghanistan, that they understand the importance of taking care of those Afghans.
Doc Angell, the citation that was read today describes the actions of a hero. More than a hero, you're an inspiration to the Navy corpsmen you represent and the Marines for which you serve. Entry-level training of every sailor Marine is ingrained with the basic leadership traits. Of these, loyalty best describes the key requirement for a corpsman and his Marines. When Marines go outside the wire, they do so because it's essential to the mission. What keeps them focused, though, is the faith in their buddies and the confidence they have in their doc that will see them through. You, Doc Angell, saw them through. Few people have what it takes to put another's life before their own. You, Doc, have it, and knowing your sacrifice will never be forgotten. Please take comfort in knowing that the Marines and sailors of 1-8 are living through your example at this very moment here in Afghanistan. We are honored that you are and always will be in the 1-8 family. Today is your day. You have more than earned it. Semper Fidelis, Lieutenant Colonel Kevin C. Trimble, Commanding Officer, 1st Battalion, 8th Marines, 5 White House, Afghanistan. Doc Angell. Many men write books about leadership, go to seminars about setting the example, and hope to be one for others to emulate. I dare to say you don't have that problem because you've done that by your actions. I know you're probably standing there listening to all these words thinking I'm just an average guy who did my job. Let's face it, Doc, you're not an average guy. You're a United States Navy corpsman, and in my humble opinion, you're a grunt that can save lives, and you did a damn good job at it. You've got the stones that only others can write about. You stood up in the face of the enemy and said, not my buddies, not while I'm their corpsman. I quote our former battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Dan Canfield, you put country before complaint and service before self. All your Marines and Navy shipmates here in Afghanistan wish we were standing there with you right now. We all look up to you, Doc. Keep doing what you're doing. Semper Fi. Sergeant Major Steve Rice, 1st Battalion, 8th Marines, 5 White House, Afghanistan.
Major General Toolin, distinguished guests, friends, family, fellow Marines and corpsmen. First, I want to thank you for coming out to the ceremony. I really appreciate it. And I also have to say that none of this would have been possible without my Marines. I wish they could all be here, but they're over fighting the good fight still. But I've told them multiple times that none of this would have been possible if I didn't have Marines by my side. I'm proud to be a Navy corpsman. I always will be a Navy corpsman. And continue on your service and Semper Fi.
Company, attack! Huh!
Well, I mean, to me, it's I know it's an individual award, but in my opinion, it's a platoon award that I'm just accepting on behalf of them. Everything that they mentioned in the write-up, I couldn't have done without my Marines. If they didn't do their job, then I wouldn't be able to do mine. A lot of times we were under enemy fire during a lot of those events. So, I mean, if they didn't suppress the enemy, and if they didn't call the medevacs in correctly, everyone had a job to do, and everyone did it correctly. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're a part of. They all have a big piece of the star, just as much as I do. Well, if it's brothers beside me, there's nothing that'll stop me. I'll go through the gates of hell and back to get my guys to where they need to be, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I would do it all again if I had to. And you know, there's nothing that would stop me with treating my Marines. My Marines are my brothers. I would go to hell and back just like I did the first time. I'm proud to be a corpsman. Proud to add to the tradition. You know, the tradition that a lot of corpsmen did before me. So I'm happy to continue on the tradition.